supplements, or expensive diets. But that's not true. Some of the longest living people in the world eat very simple foods. Foods that reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, strengthen mitochondria, and protect your DNA. Today, I'm going to show you what to eat daily to dramatically increase your chances of living a long, healthy life, backed by real science and longevity research. And trust me, it's not what you think. Every single day, without realizing it, you are making tiny choices that quietly decide how fast you age, how strong your body remains, how sharp your mind stays, and ultimately how long you will live. Because aging is not just the passing of time, it is a biological process driven by inflammation, blood sugar instability, hormonal disruption, oxidative stress, and cellular damage. And the most powerful trigger for all of these forces is the food you put into your body. Scientists now agree that aging begins at the cellular level, where tiny structures called mitochondria produce energy for every function in your body. And when these mitochondria become damaged by poor nutrition, excess sugar, and processed foods, your cells lose energy, your organs weaken, your immune system declines, and your body slowly begins to fall apart from the inside, long before you ever see the signs on the outside. One shocking study revealed that people who consume high amounts of processed foods experience cellular aging at a rate up to 3 times faster than those who eat mostly whole, natural foods, meaning that a 40-year-old living on refined carbs, sugar, and industrial oils may have the biological age of someone in their 60s, while someone eating clean, nutrient-dense foods may remain biologically young well into old age. Every bite of food you eat either feeds inflammation or fights it, and chronic inflammation is now considered the single greatest driver of accelerated aging and disease, linked directly to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's, and nearly every degenerative condition known to modern medicine. Yet most people unknowingly fuel this silent fire multiple times a day through sugary drinks, refined grains, seed oils, and ultra-processed meals. When your blood sugar spikes, your body releases large amounts of insulin, and over time, this constant flood of insulin leads to insulin resistance, a metabolic state that not only causes weight gain and diabetes, but also directly damages blood vessels, accelerates brain aging, weakens immune defenses, and shortens lifespan. Researchers have found that repeated blood sugar spikes cause glycation, a destructive process where sugar molecules attach to proteins and fats, creating advanced glycation end products that stiffen arteries, wrinkle skin, cloud vision, damage nerves, and slowly erode the structural integrity of your entire body, making you biologically older with every spike. At the same time, excessive sugar and refined carbohydrates increase oxidative stress, flooding your cells with unstable molecules called free radicals that attack DNA, disrupt cellular repair mechanisms, and accelerate genetic mutations, which is why high sugar diets are consistently associated with increased cancer risk and shortened lifespan. But the most disturbing fact is this: your body does not forget what you eat. The effects of poor nutrition accumulate silently, building up damage year after year until one day it manifests as heart disease, stroke, dementia, kidney failure, or cancer. And by the time symptoms appear, much of the damage is already irreversible. Yet here lies the most powerful truth. The very same foods that accelerate aging can be replaced by foods that actively slow it down, repair cellular damage, stabilize blood sugar, calm inflammation, strengthen immunity, and extend lifespan. And this transformation can begin in as little as a few weeks. Large-scale population studies from regions known as blue zones, where people commonly live beyond 100 years, reveal a striking pattern. These individuals do not rely on expensive supplements, extreme diets, or medical interventions, but instead consume simple, natural foods that nourish cells, support metabolic health, and protect vital organs. In these long-living populations, diets are naturally low in sugar and refined grains, rich in vegetables, fiber, healthy fats, and plant-based proteins, creating an internal environment where inflammation remains low, insulin sensitivity remains high, and cellular repair processes function optimally even into advanced age. Modern research confirms that when inflammation is reduced, blood sugar is stabilized, and oxidative stress is controlled, powerful longevity genes become activated, triggering cellular repair mechanisms that slow aging, protect DNA, and extend the lifespan of every cell in your body. One of the most extraordinary discoveries in longevity science is that certain dietary patterns activate autophagy, a process in which damaged cells are broken down and recycled, allowing your body to cleanse itself from the inside and rebuild stronger, healthier tissues, a process strongly associated with increased lifespan and reduced disease risk. Autophagy is suppressed by constant eating, excess sugar, and frequent insulin spikes, but it is activated when the body is fueled by nutrient-dense foods and allowed periods of metabolic rest, meaning your daily eating habits can literally determine whether your body remains in repair mode or decay mode. Even your brain is deeply influenced by what you eat. Studies show that diets high in sugar and processed foods accelerate cognitive decline, increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease, and shrink critical memory centers, while diets rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and fiber protect neurons, preserve memory, and maintain mental clarity well into old age. Every neuron in your brain relies on stable blood sugar and adequate nutrients to survive, and when exposed to constant metabolic stress, these delicate cells slowly deteriorate, leading to memory loss, confusion, and eventually neurodegenerative disease. Your heart, too, is profoundly shaped by daily nutrition. Diets high in refined carbohydrates and industrial oils damage blood vessels, promote plaque formation, and increase clot risk, while diets rich in vegetables, fiber, and healthy fats improve arterial flexibility, reduce blood pressure, and dramatically lower heart disease risk. Even your immune system, the very shield that protects you from infection and cancer, depends heavily on nutrition, as nutrient deficiencies and chronic inflammation weaken immune defenses, while whole foods rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants strengthen immune surveillance and reduce chronic disease. Perhaps the most remarkable discovery of modern science is that your body is constantly rebuilding itself. Every few months, most of your cells are replaced, meaning that within a year, much of your physical structure is new, and the quality of these new cells depends entirely on the building materials you provide through food. This means that aging is not a fixed destiny. It is a dynamic process that can be slowed, paused, and even partially reversed by changing what you eat. People who shift from processed diets to whole food-based eating patterns often experience rapid improvements in energy, sleep, digestion, mood, mental clarity, and physical endurance within weeks because their cells finally receive the nutrients they need to function properly. Inflammation markers drop, blood sugar stabilizes, cholesterol profiles improve, and blood pressure decreases, all of which directly correlate with reduced biological age and increased lifespan. One powerful study found that people who adopted a nutrient-rich, low-glycemic diet reduced their biological age by several years within just 3 months, proving that aging is far more flexible than previously believed. Every meal is an opportunity to either age faster or live longer. Every snack either fuels disease or builds health. Every drink either disrupts metabolism or supports cellular repair. The tragedy is that most people never realize the power they hold in their own hands, unknowingly surrendering their future health to convenience, habit, and marketing. But the moment awareness begins, everything can change. The moment you choose foods that calm inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and nourish your cells, your body begins a profound healing process. Your energy returns, your mind sharpens, your sleep deepens, your immune defenses strengthen, and slowly, quietly, your biological clock begins to slow. Longevity is not about chasing immortality. It is about preserving vitality, independence, and mental clarity for as long as possible. It is about waking up with energy, moving without pain, thinking clearly, and living fully, even in advanced age. And it all begins with the simplest decision you make every day: what you choose to eat, because every bite is a message to your cells, telling them whether to grow stronger or weaker, younger or older, healthier or sicker. And over time, those messages shape your destiny. Across the world, hidden from modern headlines and untouched by expensive medical technology, there exist rare communities where people routinely live past 100, not in hospitals or nursing homes, but in their own houses, walking daily, cooking, laughing, working, and enjoying life with sharp minds and strong bodies. And when scientists finally traveled to study these populations, what they discovered shattered everything we thought we knew about aging, because the secret was not supplements, not superfoods, not gym routines, and not complicated diet plans, but simple, humble, everyday foods that had remained unchanged for generations. In these regions, known as blue zones, stretching from Okinawa in Japan to Sardinia in Italy, Icaria in Greece, Nicoya in Costa Rica, and Loma Linda in California, researchers found a remarkable pattern. People did not obsess over nutrition, yet their meals were naturally built around vegetables, legumes, whole grains, healthy fats, fermented foods, and modest portions of protein. And this simplicity created internal conditions that allowed their bodies to resist disease, repair damage, and slow the aging process in ways modern medicine still struggles to replicate. One of the most striking discoveries was that the average blue zone resident consumes up to 10 times more fiber than people eating modern Western diets, and this single difference dramatically alters gut bacteria composition, inflammation levels, hormone regulation, immune function, and metabolic health, all of which directly control how fast the body deteriorates over time. Fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, compounds shown to reduce inflammation, protect brain cells, improve insulin sensitivity, strengthen the gut lining, and even lower cancer risk, meaning that every fiber-rich meal quietly builds internal protection against nearly every major chronic disease. In Okinawa, where some of the longest-lived women in human history have resided, the traditional diet revolves around sweet potatoes, leafy greens, sea vegetables, soy-based foods, and small amounts of fish, providing a powerful combination of antioxidants, minerals, phytonutrients, and slow-digesting carbohydrates that stabilize blood sugar and minimize metabolic stress, creating the perfect environment for cellular longevity. Studies of these populations reveal astonishingly low rates of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, obesity, and dementia, conditions that now dominate global healthcare systems, and researchers estimate that lifestyle and dietary patterns in these regions reduce chronic disease risk by up to 80% compared to industrialized societies. In Sardinia, where men commonly live into their 90s and beyond, daily meals center on legumes, whole grains, vegetables, olive oil, and modest portions of cheese and meat, producing cholesterol profiles, blood pressure levels, and inflammatory markers that resemble those of people decades younger. Olive oil, a cornerstone of Mediterranean longevity, contains powerful polyphenols that reduce oxidative stress, protect blood vessels, improve mitochondrial function, and activate genes involved in cellular repair, with studies linking regular olive oil consumption to significant reductions in cardiovascular death and cognitive decline. Beans, lentils, and chickpeas, staples across all blue zones, provide slow-burning carbohydrates, plant protein, magnesium, potassium, and fiber that stabilize blood sugar, feed gut bacteria, lower cholesterol, and support metabolic efficiency. And researchers have found that for every additional daily serving of legumes, overall mortality risk drops by nearly 8%. Fermented foods, traditionally consumed in nearly all long-living cultures, introduce beneficial bacteria that strengthen immunity, reduce inflammation, improve nutrient absorption, and regulate hormones, with modern research showing that individuals with greater microbial diversity live longer, healthier lives and experience slower cognitive decline. In Icaria, where dementia rates are almost non-existent, daily diets rich in wild greens, herbs, olive oil, fermented dairy, and herbal teas provide an extraordinary spectrum of antioxidants and polyphenols that protect neurons, preserve memory, and prevent age-related cognitive deterioration. The shocking truth is that none of these populations rely on modern superfoods or trendy supplements, yet their diets naturally deliver thousands of protective compounds that work synergistically to maintain cellular health, regulate metabolism, and activate longevity pathways that modern science is only beginning to understand. One of these pathways involves sirtuins, a group of genes known as guardians of the genome, which regulate DNA repair, inflammation control, fat metabolism, and mitochondrial efficiency. And research shows that diets rich in polyphenols, fiber, and healthy fats naturally activate these genes, effectively slowing the biological clock. Another powerful mechanism involves AMPK, an energy-sensing enzyme that promotes fat burning, glucose control, and cellular repair, which becomes highly active in individuals consuming whole foods with low glycemic load, but remains suppressed in those consuming sugar-laden processed diets. Perhaps most remarkable is the consistent activation of autophagy in these populations, a self-cleaning process where damaged proteins and dysfunctional cells are broken down and recycled, preventing toxic buildup and allowing tissues to to regenerate, a mechanism now considered one of the strongest predictors of lifespan extension. Autophagy is strongly stimulated by nutrient-dense diets, intermittent fasting patterns, and low insulin levels, all naturally present in traditional eating habits, while modern constant snacking, sugar consumption, and ultra-processed foods effectively shut this powerful repair system down. Even cancer, one of the greatest fears of modern society, appears at dramatically lower rates in these regions, and researchers link this directly to diets rich in antioxidants, fiber, anti-inflammatory compounds, and low in insulin-stimulating sugars, creating internal conditions hostile to tumor development. What makes this discovery even more profound is that genetic differences explain only about 20% of lifespan variation, while lifestyle and diet account for nearly 80%, meaning that most people are not genetically destined to age poorly, but instead shape their biological future through daily choices. Modern imaging and blood analysis now reveal that individuals who adopt Blue Zone-style eating patterns show rapid reductions in inflammatory markers, improvements in insulin sensitivity, enhanced mitochondrial efficiency, and measurable decreases in biological age within months. This means that longevity is not a gift reserved for a lucky few, but a biological response that can be activated by anyone willing to nourish their body properly. Yet modern society has moved further away from these principles than ever before, replacing whole foods with refined carbohydrates, industrial seed oils, chemical additives, and ultra-processed meals that disrupt metabolism, inflame tissues, damage DNA, and accelerate aging. Children now develop insulin resistance, fatty liver disease, and metabolic dysfunction decades earlier than previous generations, setting the stage for shortened lifespans and reduced quality of life, all driven by dietary patterns completely disconnected from our biological design. But the moment whole foods return to the center of daily eating, the body begins a remarkable transformation. Blood sugar stabilizes, inflammation subsides, energy levels rise, mental clarity sharpens, digestive health improves, immune resilience strengthens, and the internal environment shifts from one of degeneration to regeneration. Cells regain their ability to repair, hormones normalize, mitochondria produce energy more efficiently, and the aging process begins to slow. Perhaps the most hopeful discovery is that these changes occur far faster than anyone once believed. Studies show that even within 2 weeks of dietary improvement, inflammatory markers decline, insulin sensitivity increases, and vascular function improves, while within months, measurable changes in gene expression linked to longevity begin to appear. Every meal becomes a powerful signal, instructing the body either to move closer to disease or toward long-term vitality. In blue zones, food is not consumed for pleasure alone, nor for restriction, but as daily nourishment that quietly sustains health, resilience, and independence well into advanced age. Their meals may appear simple, but their biological impact is extraordinary, and this reveals one of the greatest truths of human health. Complexity does not create longevity, consistency does. Simple foods, eaten daily, in balanced portions, aligned with human physiology, create internal harmony that no supplement can replace. The road to living longer does not begin in laboratories, clinics, or pharmacies. It begins in kitchens, markets, and daily habits. It begins when we choose vegetables over sugar, legumes over refined grains, healthy fats over industrial oils, fermented foods over artificial additives, and whole nourishment over empty calories. And when these choices are repeated day after day, year after year, the body responds with resilience, clarity, strength, and time. Not just more years of life, but more life in those years. And in a world obsessed with miracle cures, the greatest miracle remains the simplest. Eat real food consistently and let biology do what it was always designed to do. Consistency is the invisible force that shapes human destiny, because what you do once may not matter, but what you repeat daily literally rewires your biology, reshapes your organs, reprograms your genes, and determines how long and how well you will live. And nowhere is this truth more powerful than in the small, almost unnoticed habits you practice every single day. Modern science has now proven that your body is not controlled solely by your DNA, but by epigenetics, the system that switches genes on and off based on lifestyle, environment, stress, sleep, movement, and most importantly, daily habits, meaning that your choices today can literally activate genes that promote longevity or trigger pathways that accelerate aging and disease. One of the most shocking discoveries in human biology is that certain daily habits can activate powerful survival genes known as sirtuins, often called the guardians of the genome, which regulate DNA repair, mitochondrial health, inflammation control, fat metabolism, and cellular longevity. And when these genes remain active, aging slows, disease risk plummets, and vitality is preserved far into old age. But these genes do not activate randomly. They respond specifically to behaviors such as intermittent fasting, daily movement, deep sleep, stress reduction, and sunlight exposure, creating a powerful synergy that multiplies the life-extending effects of good nutrition. Intermittent fasting, one of the most studied longevity practices in the world, triggers profound metabolic and cellular changes that mimic the effects of calorie restriction, a strategy that has extended lifespan in nearly every species studied, from yeast to rodents to primates. When you fast, insulin levels drop, allowing fat burning to increase and inflammation to decrease, while autophagy, the body's internal cleaning system, becomes activated, breaking down damaged cells, misfolded proteins, and toxic debris that accumulate with age and drive degenerative disease. This cellular recycling process is so powerful that scientists consider autophagy one of the strongest predictors of lifespan extension, and yet modern constant snacking, late-night eating, and sugar consumption completely shut it down, trapping the body in a permanent state of metabolic stress and accelerated aging. Studies reveal that even a modest daily fasting window of 14 to 16 hours can significantly improve insulin sensitivity, lower inflammation markers, enhance mitochondrial function, improve brain health, and reduce cardiovascular risk, all of which directly correlate with longer life expectancy. Daily walking, another deceptively simple habit, produces astonishing biological effects, as just 30 minutes of walking per day has been shown to reduce all-cause mortality by up to 30%, outperforming many pharmaceutical interventions. Walking improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, enhances glucose control, reduces stress hormones, stimulates brain-derived neurotrophic factor that protects neurons, and strengthens muscles and bones, creating a foundation of resilience that protects the body against the leading causes of death. Researchers studying long-living populations found that none of them engaged in intense gym workouts, yet they walked, gardened, climbed hills, cooked, cleaned, and remained physically active throughout the day, keeping their metabolism efficient and their joints strong without ever overstraining their bodies. Quality sleep may be the most underestimated longevity habit of all, yet sleep is when your body performs its deepest healing. Cellular repair, memory consolidation, hormone regulation, immune strengthening, and detoxification, and chronic sleep deprivation has now been linked to accelerated aging, cognitive decline, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, depression, and shortened lifespan. During deep sleep, your brain activates a cleansing system that flushes out toxic waste products, including beta amyloid, the protein strongly associated with Alzheimer's disease, meaning that insufficient sleep allows these toxins to accumulate, silently increasing dementia risk year after year. Studies show that individuals who consistently sleep less than 6 hours per night experience dramatically higher inflammation levels, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular risk, while those who maintain 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep preserve brain function, metabolic health, and immune strength well into old age. Stress control is another powerful longevity multiplier because chronic psychological stress triggers continuous cortisol release, which damages blood vessels, suppresses immunity, disrupts hormones, increases abdominal fat, and accelerates cellular aging at a genetic level. Research reveals that people living under constant stress show significantly shortened telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes that determine cellular lifespan, meaning that emotional strain literally shortens your biological clock. Yet practices such as mindfulness, prayer, meditation, social connection, gratitude, and controlled breathing have been shown to lower cortisol, reduce inflammation, stabilize blood pressure, improve heart rate variability, and even lengthen telomeres, slowing cellular aging and extending lifespan potential. Sunlight exposure, often overlooked, plays a crucial role in longevity as it regulates circadian rhythm, supports vitamin D production, strengthens immunity, improves mood, balances hormones, and reduces the risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and autoimmune disorders. Vitamin D deficiency, now epidemic worldwide, has been linked to increased mortality, impaired immune function, weakened bones, cognitive decline, and heightened cancer risk, while even modest daily sun exposure significantly improves long-term health outcomes. When these habits are practiced consistently, they form a powerful biological symphony, activating survival pathways that kept humans alive for hundreds of thousands of years before modern convenience disrupted our natural rhythms. What makes these habits so extraordinary is not their intensity, but their consistency. One intense workout cannot undo weeks of inactivity. One healthy meal cannot reverse months of poor eating. One night of good sleep cannot repair years of exhaustion. But small daily habits, repeated without fail, accumulate into massive biological change. This principle, known as the compound effect, governs nearly every system in the body. Every walk strengthens circulation. Every night of deep sleep repairs tissue. Every moment of calm lowers inflammation. Every fasting window activates cellular cleansing. And over time, these microscopic improvements compound into extraordinary resilience, vitality, and longevity. One of the most stunning discoveries in longevity research is that people who combine moderate fasting, daily walking, quality sleep, stress control, and regular sunlight exposure reduce their risk of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and neurodegeneration by more than 60%. This means that the majority of chronic disease is not inevitable. It is optional, and the choice is made quietly every single day. Modern medicine excels at treating symptoms, but lifestyle habits determine outcomes. No drug can replicate the cellular repair triggered by fasting. No supplement can match the metabolic benefits of walking. No pill can substitute the cognitive restoration of deep sleep. No medication can counteract the biological destruction of chronic stress. These habits act directly on the deepest layers of human biology, altering gene expression, improving mitochondrial efficiency, enhancing immune surveillance, and preserving brain integrity. In long-living populations, these behaviors are not viewed as health strategies, but as natural rhythms of daily life. People wake with sunlight. They walk naturally throughout the day. They eat modest meals within limited time windows. They sleep early and deeply. They socialize, laugh, and share meals. They live in sync with biological design, and as a result, they age slowly, remain independent, and preserve mental clarity far beyond what modern societies consider normal. Perhaps the most hopeful truth is that these changes can begin at any age. Studies show that individuals who adopt these habits even in their 50s, 60s, or 70s experience significant reductions in disease risk, improvements in mobility, enhanced cognitive function, and measurable decreases in biological age. This means that it is never too late to reclaim health, never too late to slow aging, never too late to rewrite your biological future. Every morning is a new opportunity. Every step is a deposit into longevity. Every meal window is a chance to activate cellular repair. Every deep breath is a signal of safety to the nervous system. Every night of restful sleep is a gift to the brain. And over time, these small acts build an internal environment where disease struggles to survive, where inflammation fades, where energy returns, where clarity sharpens, where strength endures. Longevity is not about